I don't have my fan, so I can't do the. I don't know where it is. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know where it is.
We'll pretend.
Anyway, yeah, it's happening. Imagine that just happened. Anyway, welcome to the Cup, the currently unnamed podcast where we put the tea in reality, and you can come to us first to quench your thirst. I'm Logan Murphy, a say something gay in the words of Eris Envy, and tonight we're just drinking water for the time being because I am T minus 9.5 hours until I have to fly. And I just remembered that editing a new intro is something that I can do while I'm on the flight. So that's fun.
Ooh, productivity.
Very that.
Yes. Something, to waste the time and airport time waiting as well. That's always
Very that.
something. And joining you today, talking all things Survivor South Africa.
One of the countries. One of them.
They're both great. They're both lovely. We love
Yes.
them all. But right now we're talking about South Africa. Ashley Keenan joining you here. What are we drinking today? Today I've got my Carnival cup drinking
Ooh.
a V8 Diet V8 Splash Berry Mix. It's super delicious.
Okay. Now I've always wondered, is Diet V8 good?
So here's the thing. I hate diet sodas. I hate diet.
Good. Me too.
But diet teas, like there's a Lipton green tea I drink that's diet, doesn't taste bad, and this doesn't taste bad because it's naturally sweet. So
Oh, okay. Because I was like, is it like aspartame? Like, what are we
I
dealing
the bottle.
with here? Work.
I
Okay.
Yeah, but it's super good. There's like a mango orange one that's not as great as the like pink berry, but I'm here to be sweet and talk about some sweet gameplay we have going on.
Yes. We're a little late on the on the second half of week 2, but you know what? It happens. It is what it is. Life happens and things get busy, but we're here to talk about it finally. And it's a good old classic tribe swap.
And I think it's
I
the
mean,
cutest visually I've ever seen a tribe
okay,
swap.
we're diving in. This is the coolest tribe swap ceremony I've ever seen.
Absolutely.
Like, and it's so simple, but it's so effective.
Because like they don't know, they can't like tell like, oh, this one looks like a red like wrapping, or it's literally just a vial and you pour it in water. But like for a TV show, you want visual, and it is fucking hot visuals.
Plus the combination of that with, the cinematography of Survivor SA is always going to be on point. Always on point. It's always going to be fantastic. And I don't expect anything else from them. So there's the one thing I want to talk about, because we get clips from both tribes before we go to the tribe swap. The only thing that I want to touch on is Palesa being so self-aware of her gameplay and being like, my game is in limbo right now. Like, I don't really know where I stand with this tribe. I don't know, like, I could be the next to go. And it doesn't end up mattering because tribe swap. But
Well, they all knew it was coming, even though like that it was like, haha, there's not a tribe swap, and then they're like, yeah, it is. It's a tribe swap. It's a tribe swap.
very, very that. So we go to a beach, one of them, because there are several. And I love that Nico's like, you probably don't think this is a normal reward, do you, Squidward?
And
It's like the
Squidward's
vibe
like, no.
it was like the vibe I was getting. I was like, isn't that right, Squidward? Like, that's the vibe I was getting from Nico. He's like, I know, you know that I know that you know. So
Knew it. Ooh,
let's swap some tribes. So
yes.
everybody gets a vial of food coloring, I
Probably.
presume.
I don't think
Probably.
it wasn't like a shot of anything fun, that's for sure.
No. Everybody gets a vial of, or you get to choose a vial of liquid that you then pour into your clear what would that shape be called? I don't know what the shape would be called
It's like a
of that.
cylinder.
Like cylinder, but it was like pointy, wasn't it? Am I thinking of the tribal immunity idol?
You might be thinking of like the idols. I don't
I
remember
think it
exactly,
might
but it's
be.
long and skinny with some shape at one of the ends.
So
That's
not
what
me at all.
I don't think so. I don't
Does
think
not does not represent me in the slightest. Anyway,
so.
so everybody pours their colored liquids, and there's reds, and there's blues, and then Shona has yellow.
We're like, what could yellow mean? Could
I
extinct?
was
What?
right. I was like, why wouldn't it be purple? Was my question.
Right? Because red and blue equal purple. They said no,
Exactly, like
too
the
easy.
logistics. I'm thinking about the color theory of it all, Ashley. Like, why wasn't it? Like, I'm cool that it's yellow. Maybe the merge tribe will be yellow. If it's not at this point, I'm gonna be mad. But
Exactly. Well, I mean, in Survivor Australia, they had red and blue, and then they did like black, like no, make
it was
it
like a
purple,
purpley
black.
black.
So maybe I mean they can kind of get us in the same boat. Why can't we get a purple?
I I would love like we've talked about it before on here. I would love if they did like pink.
Mm.
Or like go back to doing like teal because teal
Ooh.
was a lovely color. I may be impartial to some teal at the moment. I saw
I
Ashley had a blanket and I felt like I needed to join the blanket gang today.
and
So
we
that's
are.
why. Yes. So yes, everybody gets either red or blue except for Shona. And my mind immediately goes to okay, there's one of several options. Either Shona's gonna go to like Exile Island,
Hmm.
and then she's gonna join whatever tribe votes somebody out. She's gonna pick what tribe she wants to be on. I think there was one other option I thought of, and I can't think of it at this point.
I thought she might like not be on either tribe, and like whoever gets voted out, she joins the tribe after. That was like in
That's
the
what I
back
was
of my brain.
thinking.
Yeah, something like that. We've seen similar
Like
before.
they would
So
send her to like exile or something, and then like she would come to like the tribal council or whatever.
right.
Um, but no, she gets to pick what tribe she goes to.
And an interesting and hard probably decision for a lot of reasons. A lot of
Yes,
reasons.
and ultimately, she decides to stick with Yontao. So here is what we've got for the new tribe designations. Yontao 2.0, we have Dino, Phil, Meryl, Shane, Palesa, Marion, Dante, and Shona, making our Masu 2.0, Chorizo, Killarney, Felix, Pinty, Tajan, Tony, and Steffi.
So,
Now, mhm,
good.
we have the same thought, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Yeah, we're like,
Shona, my love. Shona, my love. Shona, if you're watching this, Shona, my love. Why would you put yourself on a tribe where you would have the minority based on original tribal lines?
exactly. Now let's like try to get in her head. Connections. Does she have any
She
connections?
was she was more connected at that point to Dino and to Phil than I
Yeah.
think anybody else.
So that makes sense to want to go with them. But numbers again. How about does she have any allegiance to Meryl, Palesa, uh, Dante, Marion, Meryl? Does she know any of them? Is there any back history that way?
It doesn't seem like it because she was on the same season as Shane and Marion. So that's like the only thing I could think of. But even then, like
Does she know about Dino's idol at this point?
no, I don't think
No,
so.
she finds out after. So I'm just trying to think, like, is there any like other than maybe she thinks I
Well,
don't know.
I don't does Dino not Dino doesn't have the idol at this point.
Oh shit. See, I am jumping.
So breaking the fourth wall, we're recording this Wednesday after I've watched episode 10. Ashley's watched episode 11. So Yes. So
So
yeah,
our information is logistically like filed through some
this
episodes.
this one is going to be a little bit more like all over the place and not so like linear in the way that we talk about it. Because then honestly, the Shona discussion, I want to just dive into like Yonto 2.0 because Shona decides she's going to lead a Unity chat. And as much as I love the idea of this Unity chat, I was supporting Shona a lot more once Shane says that she's here by invitation and she'll be gone the next day.
You're like,
I'm going to be honest, I don't like Shane nearly as much as I did his first time. Like, I'm not vibing with this Shane.
I've heard people compare him to like a Richard Hatch style game.
It seems like it, yeah.
Yeah. Which, I don't think he gives a shit, quite frankly, of how he's perceived or how he's coming
No.
across. I think he says, it's my game and I'm going to play it. So, like, when he starts looking through people's backpacks and bags, what? I was shooketh. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Because that was one of the rules laid out. Also, like, I don't know. What other rules were there? Like,
Yeah.
eat one scoop of rice and that's it. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
Putting out rules. But also, like, it ostracizes you near the minority.
And this is the start of what we'll talk a lot about in the coming episodes. Dante versus Dino.
No, not Dante versus Dino, because I like Dante. I do. But I love Dino. So it's really hard to watch, like, the clashing.
It's frustrating. The only things I wrote down at this point, like the first moments from Masu 2.0, is that Steffi feels shortchanged, Pinty feels like a guest, and Felix thinks the camp is shit.
And to all points, they might be accurate.
I think all of these points are accurate.
Yeah. I definitely don't think that's the best camp out of the two location. And I did hear, I think, from one of the castaways off air, is there was more food at Yantao than there is Mesu.
Oh.
Like there's more opportunity for fishing, I believe, like
Oh.
better fishing. So that is potential for why they like it. Yeah, and like I don't know, it just doesn't seem as flat, honestly. It seems very like hilly and like very small compared.
Yeah, and then they have this like narrow passageway over like multiple sandy hills. Like it's an interesting location. It's gorgeous, but it's an interesting location. But then we find out that we have to send somebody to the outpost.
The outpost. Now, you hear someone's going to the outpost. Do you A, jump to go, or B, do you stay home because you don't want the target on your back?
I think at this point, given that it was just a swap, I go.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if I'm in the majority, I go.
Because what do you get at outpost? Information or also both.
And or juice and cookies.
Advantage. And juice and cookies. Raise a glass.
The most important part. The most important part, juice and cookies. Ooh. So they end up, we have Dante and Taejeon going. This is where Teresa was talking about Steffi imposing her opinions on others. This is the start of Pinty versus Steffi. Mm-hmm. The sequel to Pinty versus Tanya.
Yeah, that's true, actually. I'm just thinking about the Pinty versus series that we have going.
Yes, the good old Pinty versus. I love Pinty. Let me make that very clear. I love Pinty.
The Pinty versus cute.
Yes. The Pinty CU, if you will. The PCU.
The PCU of Survivor SA. It's a wild time, but we're living in it. Don't we worry.
Part 1 was in Immunity Island. It was Pinty. Oh, who was she? Who did she fight? The 2 episodes. Pinty versus everyone. Part 2 is Pinty versus Tanya. Part 3 is Pinty versus Steffi.
Oh my gosh.
And the conclusion is Pinty versus everyone. Part 2. Electric Boogaloo.
Because it's true, and we'll talk about it at the end of this episode a little bit more.
We sure will.
Pinty versus another. So, but I don't know. The outpost is interesting. I get not wanting Steffi to go because Steffi might have already got something. Who knows? So, when they send Dante and Tijan. I think it's good. I think it's fun. I think it's cute. The men drinking some juice and eating some cookies and saying, "What is this?"
And they both find clues to a hidden immunity idol. So that's fun and cute and different. Not really. But the important part here is that Dante tells Tajan to try to flip Felix to vote with them. And Dante's trying to play it off like, oh yeah, I just think he would be someone that would be like a really, really good ally.
And what? How do we know this, Dante? How do you know? Have you
Oh,
fired him
it's
yet?
not like Dante and Felix were very close on their original season or anything.
If I was,
What? No
I've got a
way.
red flag and it's waving. It's waving. It's waving.
Great.
Would I want? Would I use that information for my benefit? Absolutely. Would I listen to Dante? Probably not. Probably not. You know,
No.
not
No.
long term. Easily.
Oh boy. So then we go back to Yontao. And Shona, dear Shona, lovely, beautiful Shona, is like, oh yeah, I thought I was probably the target for the next vote at Yontao. So yeah, I thought, making some new friends would be a really, really wise move.
You're like, yeah, but if you're in the majority, new friends might have been cuter. May have been way cuter.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's a hard. It's kind of like tying one hand behind your back when you're already blindfolded.
Yeah.
You're like, what are we trying to do here with this? So, I mean, she's positive. She's trying to make the best of it. I think she really just wanted to stay and spend more time with her two biggest allies, Phil and Dino.
Agreed.
I think that's
But
what it is.
Dante comes back. He gets the blanket because they did like a swap.
Oh, for like the fishing gear.
It was blanket for the fishing gear, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, or by fishing gear I mean the wire and the one hook that we have.
The like bare bones fishing kit that we're given this season.
Exactly.
But he goes out, he does find the idol, but this is an idol that has to be given to somebody on the other tribe.
Let's talk Survivor history past for a minute. Wah, wah. If you've
Sure.
watched Survivor Australia season 4, actually season 6 if you're counting the originals, well, we don't. We call it season 4, Contenders versus Champions 2. You will have seen this idol from David in that he gets it and he gives a fake one to Mr. Hot Stuff Sean, and Sean gives him the real one, dupes him, and never gets the fake one. So in my brain, I'm like, ooh, are we gonna get some villainy? Are we gonna get a fake swap? Are we gonna get a real one? Are we gonna switch it through to the tribes? I was very excited to seeing a very successful version of this come over. And Shannon Gus talks about how they helped put her and Mike talk through this one and thought it'd be really cool dynamic to see it again and see if it can be played just as well again or not.
Yeah. Spoiler, it really wasn't. But
no.
Because Dante doesn't even
try
pass this over.
No, he's like, they haven't shown me theirs. I'm not giving them mine.
Like at the time we're filming, I'm pretty sure he just still has it.
Yeah, and it's expired. So, like, what good is that? Like, right?
Well, it's valid until merge, I thought. But it did say expired Masu idol in one of his confessionals, so that's where I was confused.
That's what I was confused as well. If he had one previously that's separate from this one. See, there's a lot of question marks we will get into maybe later.
I think he had the didn't he get the first one that was like only valid for the first like 3 tribals?
Was that Seamus? See, that's where I'm confused, and I'm not the only one confused about this expired lower third. So I had people ask me as well, and I'm like, I don't know. We'll have to go back and relook at the rules for that one.
Very that. But meanwhile at Masu, Killarney and Steffi are talking about weightlifting and training regimens.
Athletics.
And Teresa's just like, I don't belong. And it felt very Drag Race All-Stars 2 Adore Delano. I don't belong here.
I need to leave. And I saw that clip on Twitter and I instantly retweeted. I'm like, me anytime anyone talks about anything sports. Like, I'm like, I've got to go. Like,
They don't belong here.
and I didn't. I felt everything Teresa was saying in that moment. Because
Yeah.
yes, same girl.
Yeah. So let's go to the immunity challenge. So it's in trios in a mud pit. You have to push a giant wooden ball into your goal.
Yeah, and that ball is like 120 kilo. I don't know. It's like really fucking heavy. I can't tell you metric system, but
Something like that.
it's really heavy, real heavy. Like
Yeah.
it's not cute,
Uh-huh.
and it's muddy, and it's hot, and it's muddy, and this challenge is now going into my head is like I don't like slides, and I don't like slides with big balls attached to them. We've got categories because we'll talk about it. 2 people get injured. How do you get 2 people injured?
I'm not even going to talk about what the matchups were because it literally doesn't matter.
Well, they're all covered in mud. So when people get injured, I was like, who?
Very that. So I had a friend texting me after this episode aired and was like, who got injured? I couldn't even tell who it was. And I was like, was it you? Oh my God. No, it was more than one person. I think Stark also messaged me.
It was so hard.
It was confirmed it was actually Ashley Keaton.
Because I was like, because you beat me to watching this one for once.
I sure did. I was talking about it a week later, but it's fine.
No, because it was a blonde female. And I was like, okay, is it Tony? Is it? Yeah. Is it Shona?
So,
is it blonde?
So the first time it happens, isn't it
Steffi?
It's Steffi, but who is it? Wasn't it like Dante?
Dante went to go like lift her up, and she steps back, and her knee just overcorrects. I'm pretty sure
because she obviously doesn't have an ACL.
Yeah, so like it's kind of like noodle leg, right?
Very that. So she gets injured, taken out. We see her later in like a brace. So it wasn't like a super bad injury. The super bad injury comes to dear, sweet, beautiful Shona because Pinty body checks her.
Well, you hear Nico go, no hitting, no shoving, no body checking. And you're like, okay, if someone's saying that, something's going to happen. And not 2 minutes later in the edit, we just see like a, and then you hear like a, and then our,
literally like wailing. I was like,
oh, I felt for her. Like just thinking about like chest, your ribs, your lungs. Ouch.
She literally, all we hear her say is, I can't breathe. And that's like my biggest fear.
Right. Like, could she have punctured a lung? Like, well, there's so many things could have happened. So, like, they cut the shit. And, like, that's where we end the episode. So you get 24 hours of, well, fuck, is Shona all right? Is she okay? Is Pinty, how is Pinty going to get affected in the game? Will we get to finish this challenge? It's one of those cliffhangers we get.
Truly.
Not in this episode of the podcast, because we get to talk about it.
Yes. So the Thursday episode, Shona is taken out by medics. Shocker. So then Felix and Shane come in to replace people.
Shona and maybe
Shona
Meryl,
and
Killarney. Yeah, it was like someone. And I think that we need to state from the start of this to this start, it's been 2 to 3 hours of pushing this ball.
They're already like 3 hours into the challenge.
And it takes another like hour and a half for them to finish this from that point. They were exhausted, tired, dead tired. And Tony somehow finds the musters up some like energy somewhere to push the ball by herself.
And she gets it.
What? Like
incredibly. It was a back and forth because like Pinty was blocking on the other end, and like 2 of the Yonta were trying to get it in at the other end. Nobody was blocking Tony. Tony ends up getting it in. More power to Tony.
Good for and after 4 hours, like it was time. It was time for someone to win because what do they call stalemate a third time, and what do they do then? They don't have another challenge ready. Do they do trivia? Do they like what?
Right.
Like,
It's
what's
like there's
next?
literally not another challenge available.
So they
So
had to finish it, and yeah, I know. Team Red, Team Yanta's going back. Blue's going back. But there's a big question mark: are we going to tribal, or are we waiting to hear?
well, let's talk about it. So we come back to Masu because they also win Bunny Chow as a reward, which looks delicious.
Yeah, I'd be down to try.
It seems like the American equivalent would be like Sloppy Joe's.
And I do love a sloppy Joe.
I
I
do
do.
too.
So
What
I'd
do
be
you
down to
put on your
try.
Sloppy Joe's?
So ours, it's like hamburger. So we like make it homemade without a can or anything. So it's like hamburger,
Oh, yep,
brown
same.
sugar, ketchup,
Yes. Hmm.
mustard, and a little Worcestershire sauce for a little.
Oh, yep.
And
That's
then
pretty traditional. Yeah.
yep, that's how we make ours own. And
Any
with some beans,
toppings?
we put some beans, some Bush's beans maybe, and
Oh,
then
okay.
sometimes I'll eat with chips instead of a bun,
Oh,
or I'll take it in a bowl and throw my buns in and make it more of like a little because
oh,
I'm
okay.
quirky and don't like to make a mess that way with food.
Valid. No, so there are two ways that I typically do it. One is green chilies, mustard, and onion
Ooh,
on top. The other one is pouring it over jalapeno cornbread.
that would be good. I do like cornbread.
It's so good.
Ooh, I'm really
Now
hungry.
I'm hungry. I know, and I'm like, now I'm hungry. Anyway, um,
Oh God! So they get to go and eat and like not think about thinking. I think they go back and they go, "Gosh,
yeah.
I'm really worried about Shona. I'm really
Well, and this is the minor subplot of Pinty versus Steffi, where we get Pinty versus Killarney,
yeah."
the
So
pop-up movie that no one knew was coming. Pinty versus Killarney, where Pinty's just frustrated because Killarney's talking about Shona,
right. Well,
and
and
I'm just like,
you're like, she's hurt, right? Like,
she's injured. Like, oh my god.
well,
Anyway.
I think I can see where Pinty's coming from. Where like, if
Mhm.
I hurt someone or injured it unintentionally, obviously unintentionally, like there's no malice. Everyone's like confirmed there was no malice, but like. I would be sick to my stomach and not want to be like, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to hear it. Like, I just want her to be good and not like have to worry about this negative part. That's probably what Pint, I don't know, maybe what she's thinking. I don't know. That's what
Yeah.
I'd imagine.
Yeah.
Who knows?
So let's go back to Yontao. Marion has a really touching confessional about her skin, saying that her skin is burning, but she overcame a lot of her anxieties in this
Mhm.
challenge, which I love to see for her. I'm really, really happy that she's able to overcome this anxiety.
Right. Like, because she was talking about how that challenge, how she last season, she would never have been able to get through it. And this season, something pushed her to do it, even though she was uncomfortable. And we love
Mhm.
that for her. It's good story growth, good arc, especially with conversations early in the season so far, like her having conversation on how everything affects her physically and even mentally, because anxiety is like a mental block too, a
Mhm.
little bit, right? Like
Yeah.
so it was a really touching, self-reflection moment
Yeah.
coming from like a deep episode.
Very that. So Dino says, "Oh, I'm pretty sure I'm going home."
So what do you do when you're pretty sure you're going home? You either sit and mope or you do something.
Yeah. And so he's doing things. We see the ladies of Masu 1.0 being Meryl, Marion, and Palesa. They're talking about wanting to vote out Shona, which is like kind of a lot given the fact that Shona's currently not on the tribe and injured. And
Right?
I was just like, ugh. Dante is trying to shift this vote onto Dino, and this is where I talked about it early season. I thought we were gonna see Meryl finally splitting away from Dante, and this is kind of the start of that. We see
Inklings.
little bits. We'll talk about it more, but at this point, Dino finds an idol!
Yeah.
Yay,
Like you should have
Dino!
seen me like screaming at my TV. I'm like,
Me
yes,
too.
that's what we want. Like, oh my, I was
Hmm.
so happy.
Hmm.
Um, like just seeing him like Like, no, he's not going home. But then
And then
the episode gets interesting.
because he goes to Paul. This is one of my favorite moments of the week. He goes to Paul, and they're just at the tribe. And Dino's like, I think we're okay. And Paul's like, you have to tell me. Like, you have to tell me. And Dino goes, does my crotch look big in these shorts?
Dino, you have to know what you're doing. You have to know what you're doing.
I looked respectfully. I did. I really did. There was a respectfully, I was looking.
I don't think. I think I was on a call watching it with him, so I was not.
Work, diva.
I was like, I was just happy you and Idol. We're not looking.
Woo. And so there's like, they're trying to flip votes. They're trying to flip Palesa. They have Shona's vote. All this kind of stuff. Before Tribal, there's this like real emotional moment where Dino is like crying to Meryl and Marion.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like a whole thing. And then Nico comes to camp and everyone's expecting the worst. Meryl's already crying.
I mean, because why would Nico come to camp for any other reason? You know, we've always seen the worst.
This was another Nico moment where I was just like,
you're doing the most this season, Nico.
You're doing the most,
Nico.
Nico. Because he's like, you all might be wondering what's happening with Shona. And I can tell you that she's coming back to the tribe. In fact, she's coming back right now.
Bring it in. Be the next contestant.
Shona.
Oh,
I
tears
am really
happened.
So Shona's back. I was really interested to see, had Shona had to leave the game, my personal opinion, and I'm cool that most people are probably not going to agree with this. My personal opinion is if Shona had been removed from the game, I think Pinty should have been ejected.
Maybe.
Because of the repeated warnings from Nico in the challenge. I just feel like that should have been a situation where, like, if Shona gets taken out for medical reasons that were literally due to what Pinty did to her, then I feel like Pinty should have been ejected. It didn't end up happening because Shona came back into the game. All is well. But that's just my personal opinion on it. I don't know if you have an opinion on it.
I don't know, because, like, I feel like I need to see, like, the raw cut edit to see, like, what happened before, after, and beginning to, like, to see. Because, like, we saw 2 character incidents. I'd need to see more. But, like, maybe. I don't know. If it was bad, I think Nico and producers would have that conversation, perhaps. So, but I mean, it's something to think about and consider. And maybe going forward in the next few episodes, we'll see if that, you know, makes any changes. But yeah.
So Tribal is canceled. Tribal's happening the next night. Cool.
They'll cry and have a happy night of sleeping because they're all exhausted.
Very that. Let's pop back over to Masu the next day, day 14, very quickly. We get 2 kind of core alliances that are trying to be formed. The first being Tajan, Tony, Teriso, and Felix, with then the other one being Steffi, Tajan, Tony, and Killarney. None for Pinty.
None for you. No soup for you.
And none for Pinty. We'll see in an episode to come that we'll be talking about right after we finish talking about this one. We'll see what happens with that. So let's cut back to Yontao. It's a lot of the same. Dante is going after Dino. The ladies want to vote Shona.
But there's so much to unpack within this, 4 hours I probably have before, you know, or I don't know how long, you know, the day before.
So the Breakfast Club is talking. Shane and Marion don't want to vote Dino, but they also recognize that the Breakfast Club is going to be their best path through to merge. So they acknowledge that in this morning. But let's cut to Shona and Dino. Shona tells Dino about her fake idol.
The beautiful Etsy created, best crafted
She
idol
better
I've
she
ever fucking
better
seen.
she better make an Etsy shop. That's all I'm saying.
Honestly, make money.
Shona's unsure about
How
pulling
to
it
play
out.
it. Hmm.
Exactly. So we then, with that information, Dino is like, the person I think I could probably flip is Palesa.
Hmm.
And there's a conversation with my two faves, and I was just like,
You're like, work, work, work.
please work together. So Dino is talking to Palesa. Dino tells Palesa about his idol. And this is where Palesa decides, you know what? I'm going to shift my vote. I'm going to vote out Dino because she was initially supposed to vote Shona.
Yeah.
She was going to vote Shona. She decides that she's going to vote out Dino to ultimately vote out Dante.
Dante. It's a bait and switch.
We go into tribal. I have to say, this is probably the most shocked I've been at a tribal in a long time.
Yes. And there's so many elements of why the shock happens and why it shouldn't have happened in the first place.
Well, so not much is said, really. Like,
No.
nothing important is really said. Shona says there's a lot of catching up to do. Dante says that some people might pull away from their alliances, but where's the line when you pull away? And then Dante, mid-tribal, turns to Shane and just says, cheers.
I know. I was
And
like,
Meryl and Mary, I'm like, I still don't understand what that was. But Meryl and Marion are like,
are we changing? Are we changing the plan? Are you changing? Am I changing the plan? Are you changing
is
the
it a
plan?
live? Is it a live tribal?
tribal.
Like, what is happening?
Mm-hmm. And I would be confused too. So you just hear someone whispering for what? Literally, like
The votes haven't even been cast yet.
yeah, exactly. Much confusion. Much
Anyway,
confusion.
it's time to vote.
And this is an important thing before, or no, go ahead. Or no, it's right before a vote.
Mm-hmm.
You see Dino looking at Phil, Phil looking at Shona, Shona looking at a stump in the tribal,
Shona looking at her fake idol.
going, and then you see Dino still looking at
Literally.
Phil, which will become important.
Yes.
After we read the votes, we'll talk about why those
So,
looks and stares were important.
so the votes are read, or the votes have not been read yet. Dino plays his idol.
Whips out his crotch pocket.
Yes, come on, crotch idol.
Woo!
And
He's like,
plays it for himself. Yay.
yeah, as you
Great.
should, as you
That is
should.
wonderful. So there's 3 votes for Dino, which we knew was going to happen. And then it's 2 votes Shona, 2 votes Dante. And I was like, yes, Dante's going home. It's Dante. Blind side of the century. Boom, 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 boom. Shona.
And you're like,
I literally had to pause it and I was like,
who flipped?
What? I looked at my computer screen and I was like, what? In the middle of the day on a Thursday by myself in my apartment. I was just like, what?
I was sitting staring at Dino's reaction of watching Dino get blindsided and then going, what? What?
Literally. So we find out Phil got fucking paranoid and decided to vote for Shona at the last minute.
And
when not a single vote came his way.
This is what I've heard from the streets of the things that happened, why he did get paranoid. So initially, Dino and Phil talk about, we're going to do this big show and dance with Shona showing the idol.
Yes.
Dino finds that he thinks they have the votes without having to do that. Dino tells Shona 5 minutes before they have to go to the tribal, don't do the show and dance. Don't play your idol. I don't think we need to. Does not get a chance to tell this to Phil.
Yeah.
Throughout tribal, Dino's trying to like, look at me, you look, I look, we look, we'll look together and say, it's fine, keep the plan, keep the plan, keep the plan. When Shona doesn't play the fake, doesn't do the thing, he gets paranoid, and that's where it stems. Miscommunication, folks. Miscommunication.
But why would she do it before the votes are read?
Well, because she was supposed to pull up paranoia before the vote.
But then the votes probably would have gone on Phil.
Well, something. There was something. You know how they wanted the show niche.
Yes. Yeah.
So that was why he didn't vote for Dante, because of that. And yeah, miscommunication. Had he just, stuck with the initial plan,
Dante would have been gone, and it would have been great.
I would not have cried an inch, even a little. No. So,
but I'm sad because we lose Shona after her injury and all of the things, and I hope that she's recovering well. Yeah, I know this was like a year ago, but
it was like 4.5 months. She said she's feeling better. I think.
Good.
From what I've seen, and she's happily watching the episodes and cheering on the rest.
I was so happy to see her back.
She's a fun spirit. I love her energy.
Yeah, I do hate how many pre-mergers we're losing.
Yeah. No, we don't love the way this is going.
5 in a row?
Yeah. Wow. Wow. We don't.
Or no, it's 4 in a row, I think.
It's Shona, Seamus,
Tevin,
and
Tanya.
Yeah, it's 4. Tanya. Is that right?
Who was the first one? Oh God.
The other one in Tony's.
Oh yeah, because it was Chappies and then it was PK, and then PK, it's been 4 pre-murders. Yep, great, got it, cool.
There we go. So yeah, it's really interesting, and that's why we're seeing the scrappiness, I think, coming out of Dino and Phil, especially in the minority, because they see the writing on the wall.
Yeah, but love you, Shona. I was so happy to see you back.
Such a great player, like socially amazing, and can't wait to follow the Twitter handle and see what you think about the rest of that season.
Right. Yes. All right, Ashley, moments of the week.
Strategy on strategy on strategy. I'd say
Dino's crotch idol.
Yeah, that and him getting Seamus out by use of strategy.
Oh, and then another part, because shocker, Dino. I think my other moment is Dino going over the ramp thing in that one reward and just going, wee! That's gonna be, yep.
The moment of the week is Dino, period.
Honestly, my runner-up for moment of the week, honestly, is gonna be Palesa, to nobody's surprise. But I think it's just because her confessionals have been so, like, she's so self-aware of where she is, even though she's not in the position she wants to be. So,
which is important.
And then third for me is going to be, I'm going to say Marion, because she overcame her anxiety about competing in physical challenges with her skin condition. So,
period. I love it.
To see it.
It was a good week.
We're going to get out of here because guess what? We've got another one to film after this. So, subscribe, like, and share on the way out. And with that, to Shona. Yes.
Don't forget the camp life rules. Pick up sticks.
Everybody takes 1 scoop of rice. Don't look through anybody's bags.
Or do, if you're Shane.
Or do, it is what it is. It happens.